What is going on, everybody? This is the Undefeated by Choice podcast brought to you by Still Fist. And we are living in some crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. We are in unprecedented waters. This is nuts. It's hard to be someone who comments on MMA news and everything surrounding MMA when there is no MMA or anything for that matter going on in the world. I'm going to keep trying to find little nuggets and little things to talk about to keep the show going, to keep people entertained, and to whatever news does come out, I'll try to keep everyone updated on that. As of right now, all UFC events, the next 3 UFC events have been canceled, and Khabib, and it looks like Khabib and Tony will be our first fight back from our fight hiatus, our quarantine hiatus. Obviously, the fight this weekend was going to be really great against Tyron Woodley and Leon Edwards, and that fell apart. Everything went kind of crazy. Now they're and then the thing that is annoying about this whole thing is that they have this fight scheduled. It's supposed to happen. Things fall through, unforeseen circumstances, and they do bring up some names to try to get Tyron a fight to keep when they were trying to keep the event going. And they were talking about, I believe, Rafael dos Anjos, Gilbert. Oh, maybe not Rafael, but Gilbert Burns, who just fought last weekend, and Colby Covington. And then, Colby Covington does his thing, and Tyron sees this as his opportunity to fight Colby and jumps on it, says he'll do it. Of course, they can't figure out the logistics of the whole thing, and the fight falls through. And then Tyron's now saying, well, I'm not fighting anybody but Colby. You can't do that. Come on now. You have a fight with Leon Edwards. You have a tough fight with Leon Edwards that everyone's excited about. This man deserves it. This man's earned it. This man's coming off a win. Colby's coming off a loss. Like, your stock doesn't go up. You're not. Your stock doesn't go up if you beat Colby because he's just coming off a loss. He should be ranked lower than you in the rankings now. And Leon Edwards is probably ranked lower than you as well, but he's a rising star. He's coming up. He's not falling. He's on his way up. So he's the one that's going to have your stock go up. If you beat him, then yeah, you're next in line for Kamaru. If you beat Colby, you're not next in line for Kamaru because you still have Leon Edwards out there. So for him to just try to throw this fight away just to take the Colby fight, I get that you hate the guy. I totally understand it. His character is crazy. It causes so many issues, even within his own camp. But that's not the move to make. It's just not the move to make. You have to fight Leon. That has to be the next fight. It has to. I was watching Colby's little interview with Ariel Helwani, where he was saying, "Oh, things at ATK are okay. Me and Dustin," he was talking about Dustin Poirier. Things are fine, but if we catch each other in the street, then it's on, and blah 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 blah, and he wasn't doing any favors for Dan Lambert. I mean, he makes Dan's job hard because Dan had to stop and put everybody, take everybody aside and say, listen, we got to be professional. We are a camp here. We are a team here. We're supposed to be helping each other get better. We can't be having this dissension amongst each other, amongst ourselves. And Colby's just out there doing press conferences, just still bad-mouthing his team. He could have just left it at, hey, we're going to decide to be professional. We're going to decide to leave everything in the gym. Or leave everything, to the side when we're in the gym. We're going to be professional. He easily could have done that, but he always has to take it to the next level. I mean, after his last performance, people thought he was going to be humbled, but he's nowhere near that yet. And I think he's going to have to take a few more beatings. But the problem is he's so good. There's not a lot of people who are going to put beatings on him. There's not a lot of people out there who can put him in his place. I mean, I even think that Dustin, in any type of fight, that's still not an easy fight, because Colby is a beast, and it's been pointed out so many times that he lulls you into thinking that he's a crappy fighter and that he's not any good because of all his antics. But the truth of the matter is he does all that stuff, and then on top of it, the dude can fight. So Yeah, that's pretty much all that's going on in MMA right now. You got Tony Ferguson, who says he's still preparing for the Khabib fight, posts the trolling video of him throwing this box around, a plyometric box, a foam plyometric box, throwing it around and jumping on top of it and doing flips off of it. And everyone's commenting on it like, oh, this is why Tony is so good, because he trains unorthodox stuff like this. If you thought that was a real training video, if you thought that's really things that he does, you're stupid. There's no, like, that's obvious. He's just goofing around. He's in jeans and he's got a belt on. Like, he's just goofing around. He's not really training. That's like what you do when you take too much pre-workout and you've got too much energy and you're goofing around in front of your friends and you start doing something that's kind of funny and then you just keep going with it because everyone's laughing. I mean, that is obvious that he was just goofing, and it was a funny video. Like, I was laughing at it, but then I started reading people's comments and people were really like, this is why he's so unorthodox in the cage, because this is the type of stuff he does. This is the way he trains. No, it's not. You've heard so many fighters talk about how they trained, what training is like with Tony Ferguson. They all talk about the intense workouts that they do. None of them are like, oh, he does this weird flip around on boxes stuff. When someone trains weird, like Diego Sanchez and his trainer do, people talk about it. Emil Meek came right out and was like, yeah, I trained with him. He was chasing me around with a sharp stick. If you do something weird, everyone's going to talk about it. If you're doing something goofy, no one's talking about it. So if you're just playing around, no one's going to talk about that. It's just gym locker room bull crap that he's just having a good time. And people are like, they were really thinking that this was a real training video. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre how gullible people are, how crazy people are. Like, people don't put thought into stuff. Like, you've never been goofy with your friends and done something weird and it got caught on camera. Like, that's obvious. That's what it was. But I mean, it was entertaining. I mean, Tony Ferguson always entertaining, always keeping us on our toes. So I guess it's I just, come on, people, come on. That's crazy. That's craziness. But the Still Fist news. So we had to postpone our April card. It was the best thing to do. It was the smartest thing to do. We had to do it. We have to look out for each other right now. So our April 4th card is actually now combining with our May 9th card. We hadn't had a May 9th card like fully put together yet because this whole thing was going on. So we were like not pulling the trigger on stacking the card yet. So we had a few fights for that card. So we're going to take our April card and combine it with our May card, and it's going to be a super card because I already know there's good matchups on both cards. So it's just going to become a super card. We're going to put it together, and hopefully we'll all be emerging from this quarantine together, and we'll be wanting to watch some fights and get some fights in. You can come out to Still Fist, Salt Lake City Union Event Center, April 9th? May 9th. And come watch some fights. Come watch some fights with Still Fist. Come be with the number one organization, number one fight promotion in Utah. And, let's celebrate our freedom. Let's celebrate our health together watching the fights. And on that topic, I like everybody, have a ton of emotions and thoughts and just a lot of things going through my head about what's going on right now. Obviously, I'm healthy. I'm young, somewhat. Not the youngest, but I'm still pretty young. And thank goodness it doesn't affect kids as much. And so my daughter's safe. Her mother is safe. So, both her parents are healthy and take care of themselves. And so she doesn't have to worry about that, and she's safe. So, on that hand, I'm like, oh man, thank goodness. But on the other hand, like, I have a mother, a father, a stepmother that I love dearly with all my heart, and they're all in that demographic of people that it could be dangerous for. And this whole thing is it could be getting blown out of proportion. It easily could be. It easily could be just a mass hysteria over something that's not that big of a deal. But I don't believe that you have to be in two camps. I don't believe you either have to be in complete mass hysteria and think that this is only, I keep hearing it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But what does that mean exactly? What does that mean that it's going to get worse? Does it mean that, that it's going to come to the point that every single person is going to get sick, and every single person who's in that demographic of, unhealthy, overage, overweight, respiratory problems, are gonna this is gonna be fatal for them? Or does it just mean that it's gonna get worse because everyone's gonna get some flu-like symptoms? Everyone's gonna have a cough. Everyone's gonna, what is the degree of worse? Where's the gauge? What's the scale that we're going off of? I just keep hearing, this is gonna get worse before it gets better, and what does that mean exactly? That's just putting panic and fear into people's minds because they don't know what that means exactly. Everyone, a lot of people, they automatically go to the worst. This is worst case scenario. This is the end. And then you have some people who are like, well, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm fine. I had a cough 2 weeks ago and I feel good. No, it's not going to affect me. So, I believe that there's a gray area. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be it's mass hysteria or it's a complete hoax. And my inclination is to err on the side of caution. My inclination is to partially quarantine myself. I unfortunately don't have a job that I can, I say unfortunate. Actually, for me, it's fortunate because, I have other people that are depending on my paycheck. But I don't have a job that I can take off. I don't have a job that that is going to ever give you time off. I work for the government, and the position I have is a 24/7 position. So someone must be manned there at all times. And so even if there's a government shutdown, the position that I'm in, that doesn't apply to me, and so I would still have to be there. And so I still have to go out to work. I still have to go to the grocery store and buy what's still there. Apparently, there's not going to be a lot, but I still have to do those things. But I don't have to go to the gym. Right now, I see a lot of people complain about people being outside, and I see people out walking with their kids, and I'm like, that's awesome. They're getting out, they're getting fresh air in their lungs. They're not in a contaminated area, a small area where everyone could be contaminated. I mean, they're out in the open breathing. And then I see kids playing at the park, and I'm like, ugh. Everybody touching stuff, everybody climbing, kids being too close of quarters, and maybe that's not the best idea. I don't know where I'm at with it. But, I think I don't have to go to the gym. If I do want to get some cardio in, I can go run. I have lifting is, I know there's a lot of people out there that lifting is life, and so they're really hurting over this. But, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about any individual. When it first started, I was like, I'm healthy. I'm good. I'm not worried. And then I started thinking, but if I catch it and I give it to my parents, that's what the problem is. The problem is not you. The problem is not the person listening to this podcast right now. Probably the person listening to this podcast right now, you're young and healthy, and you're going to be fine. But the people in your life that aren't fine, the people in your life that you already kind of worry about, those are the ones that you should be worried about. And if you're just out living your life, continuing to live your life, but you're staying away from them, that does not say that everyone else in their life is staying away from them and not outliving their life. And, just this, it's who you could give it to. It's not if you get it, it's who you could give it to. And that's the way you need to look at it. Don't look at it if you're going to get it, look at it in who's in your life that you could give it to. And then once you start looking at it through that lens, it starts to become you start to take it a little more serious. This 8-week shutdown, this 8 weeks off, 2 months of quarantine, that's obviously, it's for some people, it's probably it's like not as long as it should be. Like people think that maybe it should be like 4 months, 5 months. And then for another group of people, it's like, oh, that's crazy long. Like that's, or for other people, they're like, that's too long. What can I do for 2 months? I can't do anything for 2 months. I think that it's an exaggeration as far as the reality goes. Because here's the reality. If everyone starts to kind of quarantine themselves right now, or just be smarter and be more careful and not go to those places where there's going to be big groups of people and kind of avoid that. If you can do that for 2 weeks, the spreading of this is going to drastically go down. We'll all see that. We'll see it. All the cases will drastically go down. It will have 2 weeks. You'll have enough time for this to get through your systems and for you to get out of being contagious, and then it'll start to slow down. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. This is bro science. This is not studied, but this is, in my mind, this is being realistic. In my mind, this is being logical about this whole thing. It's probably not going to take 2 months to get through your system and to get through your system and to get it out of you and to get it to the point where you're not contagious. But if everyone just keeps saying, screw it, I'm going to go do what I want, then we're going to have this issue. As far as like MMA gyms go, like that's crazy. That's crazy that people are still training. Like just take 2 weeks off. Just take 2 weeks off. Err on the side of caution. Here's the problem. Here's the truth of the matter. Is if you are saying this is all a hoax and this is all fake, I'm just going to keep doing me. I'm a savage. I know how to train. I'm going to train hard. I'm not going to give up. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to let this thing beat me. If you're saying that and you're wrong, you are contaminating and effectively taking the chance of other people's lives into your hands. You are chancing losing someone you care about because you're being reckless and careless, because you want to prove that you're tougher, that you're stronger, that you're more dedicated. So you're putting other people's lives in danger. If it's the opposite, if this is correct, so then the people who are sitting in their houses, all they've done, if you're right, and that's I'm getting lost in my thought here. So if you're right, and this isn't that serious, this isn't that big of a deal, all people have done is lost 2 weeks. That's it. It's like going on a vacation. It's a shitty vacation where you're stuck inside the cabin the whole time, but like it's 2 weeks. That's it. 3 weeks, 4 weeks at the most. Like really, I just don't think that's, if we start doing it, it's really going to be that long. I think after a while they're like, oh, okay, we're good now. You guys are good. But if we keep pushing it, if we keep trying to stay outside, then this is the problem. We're going to be stuck with 8 weeks of things shut down. So if you're right and it's not that big of a deal, all you've lost is 2 weeks. If you're wrong and it is that big of a deal, you're going to lose loved ones. You're going to lose people that are close to you. And I'm not saying this to like scare you. I'm just saying this to this is the reality of the situation. We all have people in our lives whose lives we're already worried about. And you can throw out there that like the numbers of, oh, it's not that many people have died. It's not that many, that this is the symptoms. You can say all that. But the fact of the matter is that there are people that have died. And I don't want to be part of that number. Like, I don't want to lose someone close to me because I was being reckless and careless and because I was thinking about myself. I know I'll be fine. If I get it, I'm good. Like, I'll cough, I'll sneeze or whatever. I'll have a tummy ache. I don't even know what the symptoms are, but I'll be fine. I take care of myself. I'm not going anywhere, but I have people in my life, not only family members, I have coworkers, I have people that I'm constantly around who are not. They're not healthy. They're not, they have health problems, and I'm not going to chance that. So I just think we need to look beyond ourselves. We need to look past, how you feel. And I just think it's super selfish if you're thinking that it's not going to affect you, so you're good. That's the reality of it. And you don't have to be that way. You can say, all right, I'm going to chill. Like you're going there training MMA, you're sweating, you're punching someone, you're punching them, their sweat, then you're wiping your face with your sweat, and it's happening. It's happening. You're sharing germs. I mean, you get one little case of ringworm inside of a gym, and all of a sudden everyone gets it, or one little case of something in the gym, and all of a sudden everyone gets it. That's just what happens. I mean, that's there's no question about it. So if you have something that's highly contagious, you're not gonna like protect yourself of it. You may even think, at first I was like, I'll just go hit the heavy bag. I won't actually touch anybody. It's the same thing. I'm sweating on my gloves. I'm hitting the heavy bag. Other people have been sweating on their gloves, hitting the heavy bag. You touch your face. You're getting it everywhere. You're getting it all over you. So just be smart, or just chill. Just chill out. Take this time to chill out and reset. Like, you probably got injuries you want to heal from. Like, just take this time to chill. Take 2 weeks. Take 2 weeks to chill. If you're going cabin crazy at 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, and you can't do it anymore, fine. Then, at least you tried. But just give it 2 weeks. Just try it. It's not the end of the world. And it's not the end of the world. It's not. It's really not. The sky is not falling. I'm not on the side to say that this is. I am more on the side that this is more of a overreaction than anything. This is more of just mass hysteria for the sake of mass hysteria. I'm more on that side, but I'm also, man, I don't give a shit to chill out a little bit for 2 weeks. Like, I'm not completely shutting down. I'm not locking myself. I'm not barricading the doors. I'm not hoarding food. I'm not doing any of that. But I'm being smarter. I'm being a lot smarter. I'm not going to go put myself. I don't need to go out on the weekends. I don't need to. I don't really need to go to the. I don't need to go to the gym and lift every single day and make sure I do my cardio there at the gym. Like, I don't need to do that. I don't care enough about that. And so I'm willing to just sacrifice a little. That's all. Just sacrifice a little. Just think a little bit outside of yourself. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents on it. That's my opinion on it. I just, I care about everybody. I care about all the people in my life. I care about the people who are listening to this. I care about, in the world, man. Like, there's people going through hard times right now. There's people who are, in Italy who are completely quarantined, like real deal quarantine. There's people all across the world that are struggling right now, and it sucks. And there's a lot of people out there who don't care. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking it's not affecting me, so I don't care. And they're being part of it's part of the problem. Like, there's real shit that's going on. For some people that try to say this is all conspiracy and this is whatever it is, doesn't matter. It's real. It's happening. So you can either choose to just turn a blind eye to it and just continue trying to be a savage, or you can like care about other people. You can look beyond yourself and your situation, and you can look towards the people who are in your life, who you care about and who you love, and you want to protect them. You want to be healthy for them, because the fact of the matter is if you're healthy, you're not spreading it. If you're good, you're not spreading it to anybody. So just care about other people. That's the takeaway. Like, spend 2 weeks of your life caring about other people. That's not that long. Then go back to worrying about yourself, progressing yourself, getting your own shit done. But for 2 weeks, care about other people. That's the way you got to look at it. You're not being weak. You're not, giving in. You're not giving into the conspiracy. You're just saying, I care about other people, so I'm going to do what I can to take care of other people. And then just do that. But, I'm going to do what I can to try to entertain you guys during this quarantine, try to give you some news. There's not really a lot of MMA news going on right now. I think with this whole thing, it's kind of wild, and people are kind of, in hysteria, and they're not, everything they post on social media is like, oh, this is crazy. But once people kind of get comfortable in what they're doing in their situation, how they're going to try to, reduce their coronavirus footprint on the world, you're going to start seeing more, you're going to start hearing more conversations and seeing more things of what people are doing. So I'll be able to probably give you more MMA news here in the next little bit. Fights that they're potentially going to set up, what they're going to do to reschedule, things that they want to do to try to get this thing back in action. Because, we may find a way to They may find a way to still put on the fights in front of the empty arenas, which I thought was cool. I was down with that. Like that, I didn't have a problem with the empty arena show in Brazil. I thought that was cool. Other than the card itself going like every fight going to decision, I still thought that it was still super entertaining. So that is what it is. But yeah, man. We're gonna make it through this. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna get back in business. Still Fist is gonna go back to being the number one promotion in Utah, putting on the best fights in Utah. We're gonna continue forward. This doesn't this is a hit to everybody, but we're gonna be fine. We're all gonna make this through this. So, man, I mean this more than ever right now. And I close out every show saying it, but I mean it more than ever right now. Until next time, be good to yourself and be good to each other. I love you.